You know the drill. Your 2-year-old smartphone dies at 20% and you think, am I really going to drop massive money on an EV if it's just, a giant degrading iPhone? Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a common fear to have.
Right. So today, our mission is to cut through those EV battery degradation myths. We are looking at what actually happens when electric vehicles are pushed to the absolute extreme. We're pulling insights from EV Central, Teslarati, and Italian Auto Report, and this detailed breakdown of a huge iSeeCars study.
Exactly. We're giving you the bottom line on the true cost and lifespan of EVs compared to traditional gas engines.
So you can see if these cars are actually built to last. But let's start with that analogy. Is a car really just a giant iPhone?
Well, no. I mean, the analogy makes sense on the surface, but it completely ignores how EV batteries actually function. Like your phone sits in a hot pocket, right?
Yeah.
Or on a sunny dashboard.
Yeah, just baking in the sun.
Right, and it charges to a true 100%, which effectively just cooks the lithium-ion cells to death. But an EV, on the other hand, carries around its own dedicated liquid cooling HVAC system.
Wait, just for the battery?
Yeah, just for the battery. It actively manages its own temperature. Plus, it uses software buffers, so you never actually hit those true 0 or 100% limits.
Okay, so it's actively protecting itself from the kind of degradation a phone goes through.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But to really answer that assumption, we need to look at real-world extreme stress tests, like ride shares and taxis.
Oh, yeah, the 400,000 kilometer club. There's this Australian Uber driver who just hit 410,000 kilometers in a 2021 Model 3.
410,000 in just a few years. That is insane.
It is, and the wild part is, after all that mileage, the car still retained around 88 to 90% of its original battery health.
Wow, that's honestly hard to believe.
Well, there's another case, a 2014 Model S taxi in Finland. That one hit 400,000 kilometers with about 93% of its capacity remaining.
93%. But wait, didn't that Finnish driver utilize the warranty for some motor and battery servicing?
He did, yeah. But what's crucial to understand is how that servicing actually works. They aren't just throwing away the whole battery pack. They usually just swap out individual degraded cell modules within the pack, so the core architecture survives.
Gotcha. Okay, let me push back here, though, because EVs are incredibly heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got this massive battery pack and the aggressive instant torque of an electric motor tearing at the chassis every time you accelerate. Even if the battery survives, doesn't the physical car just sort of rattle apart under all that stress?
I mean, the sheer weight and torque definitely accelerate wear on certain things, like suspension components and tires.
Yeah.
Going back to that Australian Uber driver, he actually did develop a really severe juddering issue.
Oh, see? So the car was rattling apart.
You'd think so, but the diagnosis wasn't some catastrophic structural failure. It was just worn motor mount bushings.
Really? Just the bushings.
Yeah, because of that instant torque. Those rubber and metal mounts take a serious beating. But he took it to a specialist, and they swapped the parts for $130.
$130 after 400,000 kilometers of hard driving.
Yep. About 7 hours of labor, and the car literally drove like new again.
That is massive for you as an owner. When you factor in relying on electricity rather than gas, that driver pocketed an estimated $37,000 in fuel savings alone.
It fundamentally changes the math on vehicle ownership.
Okay, individual anecdotes are fascinating, but a couple of lucky taxi drivers don't prove a global trend. To prove this isn't just a fluke, we have to look at big data.
Right. Which brings us to the iSeeCars study. They analyzed a massive 174 million vehicles to see which ones actually hit 250,000 miles, which is about 402,000 kilometers.
That's a huge sample size. So who took the crown?
Toyota reigns supreme, hitting 17.8%, but Tesla impressively hit 4.6%.
Like 4.6%?
Yeah, beating out 26 legacy brands, including luxury giants like BMW and Audi. It literally mathematically doubles the chances of a Subaru reaching that mileage.
Okay, but here's my question. The global average for all cars hitting 250,000 miles is 4.8%.
Right.
So if Tesla is at 4.6, why should we celebrate them getting a slightly lower score than the global average?
Because of fleet age. That 4.8% average is heavily skewed upward by giants like Honda and Toyota. They have millions of 20-year-old cars on the road.
Oh, see.
Yeah, the Tesla fleet is incredibly young. It's mostly built in the last 4 to 6 years. They literally haven't had the time to rack up 250,000 miles yet.
So we're comparing a fleet of toddlers to a fleet of marathon runners.
That's exactly it. And remember, traditional internal combustion engines face catastrophic failure points at those extreme mileages.
Yeah.
Timing chains stretch, head gaskets blow.
Right, and EVs just completely lack those specific failure points.
Exactly. So without those ICE failure points, as this young EV fleet ages, we are mathematically bound to see that 4.6% just skyrocket.
That really completely dispels the myth of the fragile EV battery. Their simplified drivetrains really do offer serious long-term mechanical robustness.
I absolutely do.
Well, thank you so much to everyone listening for bringing your curiosity and joining us on this deep dive today.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
But before you go, we want to leave you with this thought to ponder. If an EV's battery and motor can theoretically outlast the physical chassis of the car itself, will the future of auto ownership mean simply extracting your million-mile battery and dropping it into a brand new car body every decade?